What's up, everybody? Good morning. Figured no better time to do the 2022 awards show for Racing with Jesse Rosinski than right now, as we're just a few minutes away from, I guess hours more than minutes, but technically just a few minutes away from the end of 2022, which means we are really, really, really close. As in next weekend, to SuperCross coming back in Anaheim. They're getting the track together. I'm excited. It looks nice. And that means we're finally, off to the races per se. I didn't want to use that phrase, but what else is there to say? To use there. We are off to the races for the 2023 season of all the racing that's going to be happening. I'm really excited about it. There's some things I really want to, see going into the year, but, I'll break that all down for everybody. It's going to be a fun show. Again, if you don't like anything I have to say, find the comments on YouTube, or I post them all on the social medias. Jesse Rosinski, stuff all across, all of my Jesse Rosinski the show. So you just have to type in my name and all of them will pop up on Facebook. And if you're looking for it on Twitter, it's under Racing Rosinski because of that whole character thing. But I share all the links to everything there, so you could easily throw some word comments on there if you're just listening to this, or throw voice messages in. If you go and listen to it on Anchor, you can leave voice messages to tell me exactly what you think. But a lot of good stuff to talk about. I'm really excited. It's been a while since we got to talk about a lot of it. And if I'm doing this, that means that they're getting ready to do their thing, which, again, it's felt really kind of weird the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure about you guys sitting there on like Saturday and Sunday and all that going, I guess I can watch football. There's nothing else on. So, big time, big thing. We're going to start out with Supercross. And anyone that watched it last year, we don't have to, say anything. It goes without saying that the best racer in the 450s was Eli Tomac, and the best in the 250s was Jet Lawrence. And they get the dominance award, just everything. Doesn't matter what happened. Eli was there. Eli would have had a tougher time had a certain someone not kept getting into it with Malcolm Stewart. And Jet, if he didn't put himself in the dirt every race and have to come back from it, think how much easier that would have been for him. But those two are dominating. The Idiot Award goes to, like I said, Jason Anderson. All those run-ins with Malcolm Stewart just killed him. He got him 2-3 in a row races, and then Malcolm got him in the one, which screwed both of them. I want to see if they could avoid doing that every 5 seconds, because as entertaining as it was for us, that shit got old real fast. So really hope that doesn't happen. But 2023, it's a big season coming up. A lot of stuff to look forward to. I want to see, a few things to see what Malcolm can do if he gets a clean, season. There's a 3 or 4 straight just throwaways because of idiocy. Because we saw he finished, in the points without that. So nice stupidity. It was a good year. So looking forward to seeing him. Looking forward to see what Jason Anderson can do. Anderson ran a good race. He got his first ever, motocross win too, during this year. But he was right there behind Eli. If he didn't have those bad races, it could have been a completely different championship race, and he might not have been able to lock it up so early. But because of all of that stupidity, that threw him back. So I'm really see if Eli can hold on and what can happen if a clean season comes from, Anderson and the rest of the field, really. But Anderson was the only one that was close to Eli the whole time. So see how that goes. And Jet Lawrence, for the love of God, someone get this to him. Stop taking yourself out at the start. It's exciting to see you just shoot through people like they're standing still, but do we really have to see it every race? Sooner or later, you're going to be a little older and you're not going to be able to just spring right back up from one of those things. So please, for the love of God, let's see if he can go through it all. But I thought Supercross is really, cut and dry, very easy. Obviously, Eli Tomac and Jet Lawrence, it was their years. They earned being, the best riders out there. They absolutely killed it. No one in the world can deny that unless they're just lying scumbags. But lots of exciting stuff. Congratulations to them on being our first ever. And again, a lot to look forward to in 2023. Supermoto X, whatever they're calling the thing. Like, there's a lot of good stuff coming, and I'm excited to see what Daytona and some of that looks like in person, especially Daytona. To see it, I've seen the track map, but to see it on TV, live and them on it, because Ricky always puts together a good track at Daytona. I'm excited about that as well, and see if he can keep dominating there. But didn't look like anyone could stop him last year. SRX, if you didn't get to watch it, good racing. Moving to ESPN this year for Thursday nights, which I will say, not really the biggest fan of that, but I'll tell you why later. The best site for me for the SRX season was, one, the locals looked good at some of the tracks. Like, when the first race there, that guy looked really good. So that was a good thing to see. But the best site to see for me was Newman up there back in the race car and winning. And that's all I needed to see, especially, after the Daytona thing and just come back and the way it all ended there. The team wasn't doing, that well. I understand why, they did it. But when there's people like Ty Dillon that have rides and he doesn't, when he still very clearly has it, it's good to see him back in the car. That made the whole entire year for me personally. The surprise was how good Marco Andretti looked so quick, because he jumped right in there. I mean, if you watched the last race, he was on Tony. He made it hard for him, which was really cool to see. I'm looking forward to the new racetracks. Because I like them spinning around. And let's also put a shout out to see what NASCAR Hall of Famers, just legends, older drivers they get in the series. It was nice to see the Kenny Schraders out there racing, and Dave Blaney to be out there racing against Ryan Blaney, Bill Elliott. It was really cool to see that, and to see the different guys that they bring in that aren't there every weekend, like the Ken Schraders, and really looking forward to seeing what they do with that going into 2023. Again, hopefully Haley does better, because that was a bummer. Again, it was a mechanical thing, but still one good. Mikey, Bill, Paul Tracy, I want to see them get more competitive, because I thought they were off for the most part, but I am super bummed that's moving to Thursday night on ESPN. I thought that CBS was the best thing they could have had. It was a great deal, and everyone has it because it was a local channel, which means everyone could sit down and get to watch it. And not everyone gets ESPN, which I don't know what that's going to do viewer wise. I think they'll get a lot more exposure this way, and I think they'll get taken care of better, I guess, is the thing. They'll get a lot better treatment, commercial wise, marketing. Just because CBS, you just see them, their news, and all their TV shows. I don't turn it on ever, but I don't remember seeing SRX commercials. So I fully understand why they moved to ESPN. It's the bigger network, and that means they could possibly even get it put on ABC, which I know a lot of people still have, their local ABC, which could, be the end around to fix it, because to, save it all, because they are, one and the same in companies. So that'd be really, I'm intrigued to see if they do that. I think that'd be a good move, just so more people can get eyeballs on it. But hell of a year. And again, I don't give a damn what happened. I got to see Ryan Newman behind the wheel of a race car, being like Ryan Newman and winning races. And if you don't want to see that shit, I mean, why are you watching? Short track racing, Newman. And look at all the stuff he did at North Wilkesboro and all that. He's still got it. I wish he had a ride over certain people, but good to see him out there. I was excited. I don't give a damn what any of you say. That shit was cool. And I liked it. American Flat Track. This one's easy. Congrats to, Jeremy's, Briar Bowman, and, Daniels and the Super Twins, Jesse Janish and Corey Texter and Production Twins, and Cody Kopp and Parts Unlimited. They dominated the series in the 3 selective categories the whole entire year, and they put on really good races. And so they get the awards for just being good because they were the season. I want, see how many more people get to watch, how many more people are going to listen to this or anything else, or see posts, I put up there. and try to find it and just record it and give it a shot. I'd like to see it live more, but they just do so much it's physically impossible. I do like their coverage, so you got to give them that because at least when it goes to commercial, they come back and it's right there at the same point in the race that we left off, and that's something that you don't get from watch supercars or anything like that. The time's just jumping all over the place. So that was really cool, to see it. I want to see how much, how many more viewers they can get per race because I think once people watch it, most people would be hooked just because I know I'd never be able to do it without killing myself, and that intrigues me, and it's good racing. So, got to give it out to those, to everyone on American Flat Track for continuing to grow it, and they're getting better numbers every year. So, just see if they can keep climbing that in 2023 is the really super important thing. But again, Jared Mees, Breyer Bowman, Daniels in the Super Twins, Jesse Janis, Corey Texter in Production Twins, and then Cody Kopp dominated Parts Unlimited. So congratulations to all of them because literally every race you looked at, whatever category it was, those 6 guys were always right there pretty much. So good on them. Again, if you haven't seen it, please find it because those dudes, they throw down. And it's really good racing. Like I just caught it on a whim one day. My DVR just happened to do the right thing after I set it to record damn near every kind of racing there was. And I thoroughly loved it. So make sure you check it out for my sake, for your sake, or the world's sake. There's your PSA. NTT IndyCar Series, best performance, the whole season, I'm going to say goes to Colton Herta at Indy in the rain. I don't know if you got to see it, but it was coming down in buckets. And he made it look way too easy. I mean, I think there's a little slip there, maybe on the last lap. One, but the way it was coming down, that was definitely the performance to be able to do what he did in those conditions. Showed his talent and what he could do. Sadly, he didn't have a lot of that, in 2022. But definitely got it. That race, best race for me, was also that race in Indy just because the rain and the buckets and people really had to know how to drive and show that they knew how to drive to get through all of that rain. I liked Long Beach. I will say that was a good race. Road America. I believe it was Road America where teammates were just taking each other out left, right, in a different lane. Like that was a good race. And no, those are my. And I always like when people race at Sonoma there. I'll give them that. Sonoma and Finian, whatever the hell they're calling it now. Sears Point. I think it's Sonoma. That was I enjoy seeing those kind of races. I always put a smile on my face. I don't know. There's just something about the tracks and some of the technical stuff that you have to do around them that makes me smile. And the fact for how long that they've been there, that always does help. So those guys were in contention. I don't know. There's something about rain coming down in buckets in those conditions and seeing how people can actually drive in that when it's raining that hard. Those are things that always make me smile. So the Indy rain race made me smile. I've put it down as the best race of the year for me. Biggest disappointment of the year, sadly. Colton Herta's on that list. He was his own worst enemy. There are times he screwed himself on the racetrack, and there were pit strategy that just sucked, which happened, which cost him. There was just for what he, the momentum he had coming in to what he should have been able to do. To see him take himself out from just overdriving things and getting way too aggressive way too early, that absolutely killed me. So hopefully, now that all the super license nonsense is out of the way and all that, he'll come in and be super focused and not take himself out all the time. Only time will tell. I hope he doesn't. I think, he's super talented, obviously. I mean, best performance was him in the rain. Best race was the race he won in the rain. But he needed to be more consistent. And that that definitely wasn't there. And then the other disappointment goes to Jimmy Johnson having that giant fall off like from year 1 to year 2. I mean, look what he did. I mean, he had great stuff at some of the ovals to make up for it, I guess, but like I think he started out looking a little better. I believe in St. Pete. I'm going to try to keep not doing that. Drainage from going home for Christmas is what I get. But Jimmy took a way big fall off on the road courses and the street courses. Like I was hoping that, another year of, after a year of racing on them, then simulation time, because, he ran simulators. He had to during the off season. And then to get back to them, I was really expecting him to. I didn't think he was going to go out there and dominate it and tear the house down when he went back to them, but I didn't think he would get worse, and he did. So, excuse me, even worse than Colton Herta. Jimmy has to be the biggest disappointment of it all because Jimmy Johnson, and again, just with how he is, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that thought he was going to improve outstandingly, and he didn't, sadly. But again, he had those good oval races. So, Texas, the second Iowa race, there was a lot of, good that went into his last season. It's just for some reason on those courses, he went back and I don't know what it was, but he, it was different. He didn't seem to have it. Why he retired. I mean, obviously he knew it too. It just didn't feel right. So that was a very large letdown for all of us that figured he was going to do better. Consistency obviously goes to Will Power, Penske as a whole. Look how many of them were racing for the championship. And Penske as a whole should get consistency because, he got the Drivers' Championship in the NASCAR Cup Series and the IndyCar Series. So Roger Penske gets a big shout out in that one as well, because as an organization, it takes a lot to be able to have, one team that you have somewhere get a championship, let alone two. It's not like it's NASCAR Cup and NASCAR Xfinity. You're getting it. Two completely different things getting championships. So congratulations, to him and that whole entire team. Because again, they were on a different level, like pretty much the whole entire season. So really good shit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love it. They were right there. And that's, again, good as an organization. 2023, again, now that the super license shit's done, hopefully Colton Herta can turn it around and get more consistent. And I really want to see how bad the downtown Detroit race is on the streets of downtown Detroit. Now that they're leaving Belle Isle. It's going to be a first time for everyone. I'm excited. I know I'm going to be watching it. Thankfully, I'm pretty sure they're all either aired live or on Peacock. Which means you have Peacock, you can watch them all, which makes it easier. But really good shit. Like, I'm looking forward to this season to see if Penske can keep it up. And again, what Colton can do. I like him. He's a young kid. He's super talented. He's super driven. But sometimes he just gets overly stupid, aggressive, and it costs him. Guess what? I've been young and dumb too. I'm not talking trash about him at all. But hopefully he figures all that out just so it happens less. F1, we all know this one. We all know whose name we're going to hear in this one a lot. Dominance, most dominant driver, obviously Max Verstappen. Consistency goes to Max Verstappen and also George Russell, because it wasn't for that race where I think it was Yuki went airborne and skidded on the top of his car upside down, and George parked his car on the edge to go make sure he was okay, and they picked his car up, so he had to be out of the race. Even though I told him it's perfectly fine, don't touch it. I'm going to make sure he's okay. So if you take that out, he was right there the whole entire time and showed what kind of human being George Russell is as well. Mercedes gets the most improved from the beginning to the end. Obviously, I mean, look where they were all the way back. Even in the testing, like it took them a lot of time to figure it out. They kind of got it before the summer break, and then they pulled off some good races. George won a race. Lewis was up there. From where they started to where they finished, they get the most improved because they were miles behind. Sergio, Perez, and then the Ferraris, let alone Max. Max is in a whole league of his own the whole entire year, minus him having some mechanical issues. So really, congratulations again. Mercedes definitely deserved the most improved award just because, dear God, if you watch the season, you understand. And then there are times where they qualify. I mean, like, practice and qualifying, they're really good. And then the race started, and it was all, it's just, it took a lot. I want to see if they're going to be competitive this year. How close they're going to be. I don't think anyone's going to be close to Max. Same cars, my ass. Look how far back Checo is to him. I know he's a freak, but he ain't that big of a freak. Good things. Total races in America, good thing. How good we got to see again. Checo being Max's teammate at Red Bull, the Ferraris and the Mercedes were by the end of the season that those five there were always, battling with each other, whether one was up here and one was back here. Like they all finally, Mercedes finally got to that level. They weren't to Max's level. No one's was. I don't think anyone's going to catch him for a while. But to see them finally there by the end of the season, when at the beginning it just came down to who had, mechanical failures between the Red Bulls and Ferraris as to who was going to win, it was really good. I think we needed them to do that because if it was just, the Ferraris and the Red Bulls running away with it, I don't think that would have been good for the sport. I don't think that would have helped anything at all. So that was really good to see. The biggest letdown, I hate to say it, I never thought I'd say it, Mick Schumacher. We know I'm a Mick guy. I loved his dad, respect his dad. We all know Walter's a Mick guy. See him, start where he was. Brock K-Mag back got points right away. And Mick just slowly picked him off till he had back-to-back races where he got points, and he completely fell off the cliff, couldn't do anything anymore after that. I don't know what it was, car, him, I don't know. But the kid deserved to get fired, sadly. I think his new role going to be really good for him. I think it'll, give him a great opportunity to grow because he's still such a young kid. He's not done with F1, not yet, not by a long shot. But the way he was running, he did deserve to be let go. But the run he was on, man, if anyone that watched it, he was getting so close to getting points, and then he didn't. I don't know what happened. Something turned off. And we'll see what the future brings for him. But that was the biggest letdown, really, 2023. I'm just looking forward to see if anyone can catch Max. The racing was good behind Max. There were a bunch of other guys, so that was good. Kind of disappointed with how much money you need to spend if you want to go to Las Vegas GP. Yeah, and the start time for us on the East Coast, like they're just doing nothing to help the actual American fans where they're holding the race. I know they have to help theirs, but we're up at stupid times for them. 11 o'clock. That's why we have DVRs. It's just not, good. I don't like it. We'll see how the racing is. I just know it looks like they're setting it up for Richie's with the way packages cost and all of that, which, doesn't help any of us. Again, I don't run it. I don't get to make decisions. I think it sucks, but we'll see. I don't know. Really looking forward to the racing, though, because I don't care. More races for F1 in America is obviously a good sign for the fan base for any kind of racing in America, which means racing isn't dying. So maybe that means everyone else can get an uptick as well, but they're charging way too much to make that exciting for anyone. So looking forward to it, but not looking forward to it. Gets us to the ARCA Menards. ARCA East, ARCA West, all of them. I'd say best driver, Nick Sanchez, was good. And also, Sammy Smith was just crazy. So those two get that consistency. Again, Nick Sanchez, Raja Karuth, Daniel Dye. Look what they did there, right? They're going for the championship up until the last race between Daniel Dye and Nick Sanchez. Sammy Smith, when he was out there, just dominated no matter what he was in. So he's in there. Things I want to see that are good for the sport. More, Tony Breidinger, Amber Balkan, just because they were the only other, they might have been the bottom two for full time, but they were full time the whole time. They raced the whole season, which very few people did. And that's good for them. And they were even competitive in some races. They'll get better. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the opportunity, but they're there and they do have some competitive races. So we'll see. And I think, just like Haley, do it slow. Don't throw them up there to wait till they're comfortable and winning and stuff, and then move them up a division. Like that's good for the sport to get all of the eyeballs in there and to show that, you can do it. So, and see what they could do now that, Sammy and Raja, a bunch of people are gone. I'm excited to see who's going to step up. Now that they are gone, it could be Tony or Amber. Who knows? I mean, I don't think they're there yet, but you never know. So we're going to see how that one works out, and the TV schedule with them all being aired live. Finally, I'm really, really stoked about that because the worst thing of the whole entire season, the award gets the TV schedule. It absolutely sucked. They did them dirty at Talladega. They did them dumb. Whoever decided on that one at Pocono should be fired. Starting the race that 6:30 at night. How long it takes to get around the track, and they had breaks. Like that was never going to happen in the first place. So whoever did their contracts and TV absolutely sucked. Them being live, absolutely phenomenal. No more airing on a Friday or a Thursday at 1 p.m. on USA. No one's going to see it then. Like, this is good for them. I'm very excited to see what they do about that. I'm going to put this one up there one more time, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, just because, well, it was still the Camping World Truck Series when the season happened. It's now the Craftsman Truck Series. I'm excited, but I'll give them that, as it was still that during the season. Camping World Truck Series. Consistency award goes to Zane Smith, with Ty Majeski and John Hunter right behind him there. And John Hunter, the poles that he got, he was most consistent qualifier. But if you look at the stats, Zane was just up there. Best performer goes to Zane Smith by a lot. Deserved and earned the championship. I still can't believe he finished second 2 times in a row and had a hard time finding a ride. Again, well, people like Ty Dillon have rides. Enough said. Need to stop doing that. But most improved, Ty Majeski. I mean, look at him at the end. He's always knocking on the door. Never got, getting wins even when he wasn't running full time. Like, he was still showing he was talented, and where he was at the end of the season, hats off to him. He definitely, showed what he's got. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what his future holds, because that was some good shit to see him just, they always say, once you get one, you keep banging down the door on the rest of them. And he got his first, and, he didn't look back. So really excited to see what that does going forward. And obviously Rackley Roofing, that team with Matt DiBenedetto getting the first win, and he beat their top 10 mark in like minutes of being there. So that was really good. I like the team together. I want to see what they're going to do this year. Now that they get a whole year under their belt, not just a few minutes, I think they could be more consistent and dangerous and better overall, because like where they were, what happened once he got there and getting that win, no matter how dumb it was, because I don't know why they throw the caution right there at Talladega, but they always do it. It calls stupid, but really good improvement there. I want to see, again, what they could do going forward, but both Ty Majeski and Rackley Roofing Team and Matt DiBenedetto deserve most improved awards, because, look where they were, look where they are. Went from knocking on the door to blowing through the door for Ty, and being nowhere near the door to being at least to it for Rackley Roofing with Matt DiBenedetto. Biggest disappointments, Matt Crafton. He was just really inconsistent, but at least he was honest about it, which, yes, you have to appreciate how honest he was about how much they sucked. Hailie Deegan, giant step back. No one can deny it. She went backwards. She didn't get better. John Hunter Nemechek, just for not closing in on so many different opportunities they had for races, for how good of trucks they had. It should have ended differently a lot more times. And then Carson Hocevar, he started out with a bang, I know, but once he healed up, like, he was just so far back, like he was off. And I don't know whether it was a team or a him, but where they were at the beginning through his injury to where they ended were not the same team. So that's the biggest disappointment right there. I think everyone earned it right there. And then 2023, what am I looking forward to? Seeing Craftsman Truck Series back. No offense, Camping World. Excited to see the Craftsman Truck Series back. Seeing what Hailie Deegan, and ThorSport can do now that ThorSport's Ford, see if that helps her improve. If it was the truck or not, I don't think it was fully the truck, because there are other people that went in there and did, better, but we shall see. See what Matt DiBenedetto could do in year 2 with Rackley Roofing, that team, and see if how much better, how much they improve. Consistency. I'm not looking for a lot of wins, just to see them up there consistently. Maybe the top 10, because they were nowhere near even being able to do that before they got them. So, if they can consistently run around there, that's a victory for me. It shows great improvement. And see who really steps up, because, there's a lot of guys that, the John Hunters and them are gone. And, Roger Cruth gets to be full-time. Like, there's a lot of that. So I'm really, want to know who's going to, take the next step and be one of those guys that's up there all the time. Because, the sport always needs that guy. Will someone step up? I don't know. Would it be nice to see someone step up new and not just be one person dominating? Yes, but time will tell. There's a lot of good things coming in 2023, to include Craftsman being back on there as the title sponsor. That's very exciting to me, at least, whatever you feel about it. Xfinity Series, best performance. I will go Noah Gragson on the season. minus the incident Road America, which I still think he at least learned from. And then Ty, Gibbs, sadly, right behind him, but look where he was all season, and Junior Motorsports as a whole. Can't say they didn't have the best performance. They were there all the time, every race. And look how many oval races and stages they won in a row at one point. Like the number was astronomical. So congratulations to them. Again, consistency, Junior Motorsports, most improved. I'm going to say RCR from the beginning to the end. And I know Austin Hill came out, in one Daytona, but if you just saw where they were consistency wise, and again, a lot of it was bad luck and stupid things, but they kept plucking away at it and they both looked much, there was much improvement from the beginning to the end with them both having their first year in the Xfinity series. And that was exciting because I like both of them in the truck series. So, and RCR being good is always good just because it's more competitiveness and we need that. Riley Herbst from last year to the end of this year, super maturity. And then again, Noah's maturity, the improvement there from Road America, which again, I still think he got off easy. Definitely had the book thrown at him harder, but at least seemed to improve his maturity level and all that after it. So I have to give him that. Biggest disappointments, Ty Gibbs' downward maturity, because he just kept getting worse and lying about it after he did stuff like we all clearly saw it. I was trying to move him, but he bumped him out of the way. Like, you were bumping people and moving them all race. You pile drove them. There's a difference. Don't smile about it and lie about it to all of our faces. We're not that dumb. So he's the biggest disappointment of it all because he's just such a little prick, which is why he also got the asshole award. One series gets an asshole award. Ty Gibbs did more than enough to earn the asshole award because he's definitely an asshole. And again, looking forward to in 2023, seeing it takes over now that Noah, AJ, and Ty are all gone. An opportunity for people to step up. John Hunter gets a proper shot. Sammy Smith's going to be there. I think he's going to, get some races. I think it's going to be a very interesting year in the Xfinity Series. And just because, again, so many people now, different rides get new opportunities to be the man now that the men are gone. So see how that one, completely works out. Cup Series best performance for the whole entire year. We got to go with Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, as Joey got the championship. And Chastain did what he had to do to get in and to be up there and, made enemies along the way. But, he calmed it down and toned it down after he got in so many situations and showed something. And then Christopher Bell racing his way in that many times at the end definitely deserved it. The consistency, if you look at the points and you look at how everything went, top fives, top tens, all that, Logano, Chastain, Bell, and Elliott were the most consistent, with Blaney in fifth. Look where he finished conveniently. So the most consistent people of the season actually raced for the championship. So that's good. Most improved Trackhouse, obviously. Stuart Haas by the end. Excuse me. As a whole, not cold. One day it'll be gone. And they really needed it. Because again, after Kevin won all those races in 2020, they got to those last couple races doing the Cup and Xfinity Series. It seemed like they just turned something off because they were bad for a long time. So to see not only Kevin win, but see him have teammates that win, that are competitive, hasn't really happened while he's been there. Chase Briscoe, I think that's, a really good thing for him. And we'll see now that he's got, I believe it's Priest up there. Like, we'll see what he could do with that too. And I think he's going to be much better off than Cole ever was. No offense to Cole. I think the Xfinity Series is the proper fit for him. But adding Priest, that's going to be a good one. I think that upped their game even more. And that'll be dangerous because, again, it was normally just Kevin for them. Now they have a bunch of guys that can run up there. That's a scary thing. So good on them. Petty GMS also gets it. Never mind Ty Dillon. Just look where Eric Jones was. That was an improvement up there battling. Got to win. They needed it. And I think they're going to keep getting better now that they got Noah. Jimmy's going to run some races and is involved in the ownership. Like, I think they're going to keep getting better. And RFK, because look where, Roush Fenway was for the longest time. No offense to them. They know they weren't good. To where, And they are now at the end of year one with Brad as part owner, even with all the hiccups they've had. That was a violently better team by the end of it all. And just hell for the first half of the season to the last half, let alone the whole season. So I have to, can't pick one single winner in that because look what Trackhouse did, Stuart Haas, Petty GMS, and RFK, what they all horrifically improved, and they needed to. So they all get the award. Biggest disappointment was Kyle Larson just because of where he was to where he was at the end of it. Kyle Busch, again, we all know how that worked out, though. No, that wasn't him at the end. Anyone that thinks it was, you're crazy. No way he's out there winning that many races, and he happens to be the car that has mechanical failures, so it's all over. That's all I'm saying. His interviews, anything he could do to see, turn this luck around? Yeah, 2023. He knew, we knew, we all know. And then Woods Brothers, but that's to get for getting rid of Matty D to put someone Harrison Burton that wasn't ready. Did he look better by the end? Yes, he did. I did give him credit in those shows, but was it the right move to put him up there that quick? No, because he wasn't even run that good in the Xfinity Series to earn it. But looking forward to 2023, literally Petty GMS stepping up, seeing what Jimmy could do, seeing what Kyle and RCR do, seeing Ty Gibbs get humbled. I think Reddick's actually going to take a step back. Not a big one, but I think it'll take him a little bit to get everything his wheels moving. And I still think he did Childress dirty, so I understand how this all worked out. And then most importantly, the first thing I wrote down was Ty Dillon's career ending. Finally, hopefully. God damn it, he hasn't deserved a ride in a very long time. He's done nothing to earn it. Stop giving him rides just because of his dad. We know his grandfather is. We know his dad is. Oh, we're doing technical lines. No one gives a shit. He has not earned by performance that ride. There's other people that have definitely deserved it that have lost their asses and sent back to other, series, and we're lucky enough to find something. Please God, let this be the end of it, where we don't see him in the Cup Series anymore because he's not going to win any races. He's not going to run good. He doesn't have it. His brother's the more talented one. Look at his brother's stats in the same car, Xfinity Series and all that, compared to Ty's. Hopefully this is it. We don't have to talk about him anymore, but overall for the sport, moving all forward and all that, I think Toyota took a giant step back. Now they've lost ThorSport, which again, they get Tricon, but ThorSport's been around and they're winning races there at the end. They lose KBM, which was a big portion of their, development system. So and they lost Kyle Busch. And like that one executive said, I don't want to race against pissed off Kyle Busch. Now you have to. Congratulations. I'm putting that one on Gibbs. No way they couldn't find him anything if they were trying. But really excited to see what Chevy could do with KBM and Kyle and what ThorSport does now. They're back to Ford because they have switched a few times and they've had success with both of them, both Ford and Toyota. But see how the see again if Haley does anything too. Now that she's with them, they're at Ford. We know what ThorSport can do, and they can win races, and they had people winning races. And see if that's what the problem was, or if it's another step back. I hope not, because she is really talented. But something's got to change because that last year was just abysmal. I want to see Ty getting humbled. I'm sure he will because he just can't help himself. It's his driving style. Then he comes back and goes, well, I just wanted to move him repeatedly, even though we all watch him just dump him. So see if he gets humbled. The financial side of the sport, the big one, see if what the owners do and drivers and stuff do is, NASCAR is taking the whole entire, kit and caboodle when it comes to, TV money and a lot of that, when I don't think it made NASCAR very happy when Jeff Gordon was on TV saying that, even after winning the championship and all those races, last season, they still were in the negative for the year overall. So see what plays out in that. I don't think it's going to be a very good thing for the sport. They need to get over themselves. I know they spend a lot of money to buy everything, but they don't need that big of a cut. That's way too little money going to the teams. And the teams are the ones for the teams in the racing. They wouldn't be an NASCAR anyway. So I think they need to stop being greedy bastards and give them a fair shake so everyone can make something out of it and sustain it. Get rid of the damaged vehicle clock for mechanical issues. I think it's fucking stupid. Hurts, kills smaller teams and everyone. I get it because they didn't want, back in the day, we all saw the races and there's just duct tape, bear bond, all kinds of shit just flapping in the breeze. But if it's a mechanical thing like a tow link and there's not going to be anything that's going to be falling off the car, why give them the damaged vehicle clock and then they're what, a couple seconds, maybe a minute too slow, so then they're done. If there's nothing got to be falling off the car, it's just a mechanical thing like that. Let their asses go to the garage and change it. Damaged vehicle, like if there's sheet metal, that's one thing. You put it in there to stop that from happening, and duct tape all over the place for a million cautions for debris, which you now create all on their own anyway. But damaged vehicle clock, if it's just something like a tow link, let them go to the garage and fix it. Well, sorry, you're done. Because if the purpose of it was to stop all the cautions for debris, if the car isn't going to cause any debris, doesn't need to happen. So fix that. Hopefully the tire teams finally understand the situation with the tires when it comes to air pressure and camber, so we stop seeing so much of that. Because there's Rudy Fugel. Oh, and then they're talking about tire wear. I don't have to worry about it. I set my car up so I don't have to worry about that. In other words, he didn't put the air pressure way low in the camber and blow shit to pieces because they have tiny sidewalls, which means they can't take that kind of abuse. I'm not an engineer. I figured it out. So hopefully that happens less, because that was a big part of concussions, people getting hurt. See if NASCAR did anything to the car to alleviate some of the impact on the drivers, because it needed it. Because look at all the concussions. That proved enough right there. They were getting beaten to death. TV scheduling, how they deal with the rain. There's a lot of embarrassments this year. Like, you see it coming and you still move it up 5 minutes just to get it started, so then we can sit around in rain delay for 9 years. Like, that's pathetic. And then it was topped off by Daytona, where they went to turn one. It was raining. Even though you could see rain on Almirola's camera as he went down the front straightaway. Like, that big of a facility, it's that big of a sport. You should be able to have people on all corners to go, yeah. So they could stop it before we see half the field get taken out by something like that. Because, you could feel it coming if you're just somewhere else, especially that close to an airport. And I want to see what Gibbs looks like without Kyle, and what 23-11 and all that, and if there's any bad karma. But big season coming up. Lots of big stuff coming up. A lot of people moved around, across F1, NASCAR, all over the place. If you hear that, my little baby cat is psychotic out there if you're picking that up. I'm sure you are. SuperCross, though, kicking off next weekend in Anaheim. Super stoked. They're doing a special tomorrow about the season coming up. So, you got Peacock. It's going to be on NBC, I believe. But find it. New places, new faces, NASCAR. I love that. Again, a lot of people need it, and I still can't believe the Kyle Busch thing happened. But here we are. And don't forget, there's a lot of series that I didn't mention. Amsoil Off-Road, Moto America, NHRA, British Touring Car Championship, F2, F3, F4, Formula E, Extreme E, the World of Outlaws, whether it's sprints, late models, all of it. So much out there. So set your DVR to racing. Go through it racing. Record it all. And you'll get almost all of it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to share this out and subscribe. We'll be back with a new episode for SuperCross preview coming up next weekend. So enjoy your weekend. Happy New Year. Until next time. Peace.